and the Soul Rock and Lunatone engine as the prizes are going to be coming down here. Amy, tell me what you see.
You know what? I don't think these prize cards seem too offensive. I think that these are fine. It looks like we're going to have a real tussle. Both of these decks at full power, and one of these two trainers will reign supreme and become our champion. Will it be Emma Hagen or Daniel Magda taking the crown here in Poland, really taking that step further, bringing us a brand new deck to be our champion deck here in Europe Masters Division. There's the fist bump. Let's get right into it.
This is a big, important game one here. Let's talk about the decks themselves going into this finals here. It's going to be the EVs going up against Golden Go EX here. Now, to give the audience a little bit of background, Emma already has played against a couple of Golden Go's in Top Cut. We last saw her on stream playing against one of her closest friends, Christian Fontenot, on essentially the same exact deck archetype. Now, granted, Daniel Magda is playing this Golden Go deck. What this deck does best, Amy, is draw the most amount of cards possible, thanks to, of course, Golden Go EX, but also this new addition from Mega Evolution, this Lunatone. And as long as you have a Soul Rock on your bench, you are able to discard one fighting energy and draw 3 cards. It's a massive amount of draw, and honestly, it's already helped what has been a very consistent deck.
Indeed, and honestly, this could go either way. Just having a look at the pairings, it looks like these two have faced up against one another in the first phase of the tournament. Looks like round 4, they have already faced one another.
This is very interesting here, too, as we pass back on over to Emma's turn. Now, granted, a lot of the times players will see a evolution turn 1 and they might kind of look at it strange, but that Eevee with its boosted evolution ability here, as long as it's in the active spot, which it is, can actually evolve on its first turn here. But Amy, look at the setup that we already have from Emma's side. Buddy Buddy Poffin and Terra Orb as well. We already have our terrestrial Pokemon ready to go with multiple Noctowls as well, and the rare Candy here too. That's one less card that we need to Jewel Seek for. Now, granted, we're not getting an attack here, but we're definitely set up.
Oh yeah, on both sides, to be honest. The setup looks pretty clean. We're making a real good stance for both of these players. And now here we go with Daniel Magda's secret box. We already spoke earlier when we saw Christian Fontenot on the stream about the flexibility of the choice of a spec in Golden Go. Now, Secret Box has definitely been a staple for a while for a lot of players in this deck because it brings such power and consistency, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with the discard of a picnic basket, a energy card, and the Mega Mawile EX, a curious invention in this deck indeed.
Definitely makes a lot of sense. A lot of Golden Go players decided to tech this in for the week. That gobbled down attack, the more prize cards you take, it gets stronger. And of course, that being a 3 prize Pokemon that is weak to fire, Daniel wants no part of that on his bench at all here. So once again, having your secret box in your hand, going and finding, of course, all that setup that you need. But here we go, our first lunar cycle here. Let's see what we got. Don't have a direct view here, but there's that air balloon. Okay, straight into the Gimme Ghoul. Now, granted, we definitely have to play very carefully here because that Golden Go is very, very, very weak to fire.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to be caught in any of those flames. Definitely has a melting point that's just about Flareon as far as I'm concerned. We go ahead and grab another Gimme Ghoul there with our Nest Ball, really making sure that not only our ferocious draw engine is on board, but also our attacking power. Golden Goes make sure that they can swing back to back to back if necessary, especially when staring down a Flareon. But if Daniel manages to, you know, combo up and knock out this Flareon right here, right now, it could really set the tone for how this game's going to go for Emma.
This one's going to be very interesting as well. Going back into Daniel's prize cards, there's only one copy of this Genesect EX being played. So Daniel being able to reliably find his Golden Goes off of just card draw in itself, very telling to show how well mastered he is with this deck. Now, Amy, here's the thing. Looking at the hand, I'm not seeing right away a lot that we can work with. I see a little bit of setup, which will definitely help us. But now we've already retreated for turn.
So
it's a little bit
true.
scary to leave this 2 prize in the active, so we are going to use Professor Turo's scenario, and we are going to reset the board here, sending Lunatone back up front.
That was really clever, and then we get to just evolve it next turn and carry on. But moving on to Emma's turn, Flareon has survived, and henceforth we have a terrestrialized Pokemon in play, which opens up that gate to let our Noctowl into the building. We're going to be using its fantastic ability, Jewel Seeker. Emma is allowed to take 2 trainer cards, whichever she fancies from the deck. So she's just doing a little deck check now, just checking what she's working with. Although technically on paper, yes, this is a good matchup for her. She still needs to have her wits about her, as Daniel is a very, very good player and has a lot of reps with decks just like this. And so she's going to need to still be careful and tread very wisely as we see that Serrano come down, the Sparkling Crystal, and of course we evolve into Pidgeot with the Rare Candy.
And there we are, finding Pidgeot here, one of the engines of the deck. Not only do you have Noctowl, where if you have a terrestrial Pokemon, you can evolve and start finding the parts that you need, but why not also add Pidgeot to it as well here? So it is going to be the Sparkling Crystal attach into using Burning Charge here on the knockout. And instead of getting another Flareon ready, Amy, I'm actually only seeing the line straight to Blood Moon Ursaluna, because that EVEX, it's prized.
So we don't have another option other than to go in with Blood Moon Ursaluna. Now we do know that Black Belt's training can help us to get up to knock out a Golden Go. So Blood Moon Ursaluna is still a very valid option. We do have the Pidgeot Quick Search, so it very well could be a great choice in this instance to go in early with a Pokemon that we usually wait until the end of the game to see. But throughout some coin bonuses, we managed to get that Fighting Gong, and we have a Lunatone back on the board.
It once again goes to show, right, this one copy of Genesect EX is stuck in the prize cards, and Daniel has been able to draw into these Golden Goes consistently here. And now you're going to have multiple coin bonuses and a Lunar Cycle, and this is one of the big strong points of Golden Go now in Mega Evolution as well here. So it is going to be the Lunar Cycle. It has to be a fighting energy.
It does.
But we still get some more draw here. No supporter that I can see, or maybe was just drawn one off of the Lunar Cycle here. We'll see what the active 2 coin bonuses bring to us here
and
as
one
we get
more.
one more too. I mean, 300 isn't too hard for Golden Go to hit in the later turns, but it's all about, have we got enough energy in the discard in our early game for it? Also have an Earthen Vessel in hand. We can also use the Superior Energy Retrieval. Amy, I actually think we can get there.
I think we can. You know, that energy was attached with such confidence that I felt like he had it right there and then. We're Earthen Vesseling first to grab 2 fighting type energy, but I'm certain we have a knockout right here on this Flareon. We also have Arven. My goodness gracious, we have so much power. And the Vitality Band, which means that we need 1 fewer energy to be able to take that huge knockout.
This one's going to be interesting here. Now, granted, we could also use the Vitality Band kind of superior energy retrieval fodder at the end of the day, right? We still need to discard 2 cards to grab what we need to here, and it looks like that is going to be the case here, as also the Team Rocket's Petrol is in this list as well. Kind of a cheeky card where you're able to grab 1 trainer card from your deck. You got to reveal it, but then shuffle it into the hand. Now, granted, that can be pretty good, but it will be Daniel striking back with the Make It Rain for 300.
That's a huge amount of damage, but just to note, the Vitality Band did get discarded, so we now don't get quite as easy knockout on the Blood Moon Ursaluna as I was referring to before. Vitality Band would have just knocked that down to 250 rather than 260. So we do have to have the extra energy for that now. But going straight into Emma's turn, we're grabbing our next attacker, our Wellspring Ogerpon EX, and Jewel Seekering for Area 0, Under Depths, and Black Belt.
Now, this is really interesting when you kind of refer back to the prizes here. Now, granted, right, we've solved this kind of prize mapping from Emma a little bit earlier, where you can essentially take 1 prize card, then 2, and then use that Briar supporter at the end to take an extra prize card. But the thing is, you tend to be doing that with something like a Terapagos, and that is at the top of the prizes, Amy. Doesn't necessarily feel too great. Now, granted, Besendipity EX does come down. We can flip the script. For a couple of cards here, we do have Counter Catcher. Gotta see what we still can do here. Buddy Poffin once again to reset up the board here and take just like another look at what's going on here. Of course, you always want to grab your Hoot Hoots.
Hoot Hoot are essential in keeping this deck going from the beginning when you want to fan Rotom to try and establish as many as you can, to this stage where actually you just need to keep on going. And when the Area 0 Underdepths finally yields, then you can discard the Noctowl and you're back in it.
This could be big here, though, Amy. I'm seeing a line where we could potentially Night Stretcher back the Eevee if we free retreat from the Pidgeot into the Eevee and then able to go right into Flareon thanks to boosted evolution. We could potentially find a Burning Charge, and then we have multiple ways that we can get prize cards powered up here. See what the line is going to be. The Black Belt's training is played for the turn here, but no, it is just going to be the Blood Moon Ursaluna with that Jet Energy. And thanks to the power of Black Belt's training, you're doing a couple more damage to that, and it will be Emma fighting back hard here.
Emma is making an absolute reign of this parade, making sure that she is on top.
See how this one's going to go, how Daniel is going to respond here. Briar is still very much aligned, right? We have the Fire Energy in hand as well. We still have 2 Hoot Hoots up as well, so the Terrestrial Pokemon is still very much alive here, and we can have this extended bench here. And this Blood Moon Ursaluna, Amy, it's pretty big. We'll see what the Nest Ball brings to us here as we're back on to Daniel's turn here. Could only imagine that it will just be another Pokemon that we can kind of work with. No Pheasantipity, though, as it is stuck in the prizes all the way at the top here. Really is taking his time, really has to consider what's going on.
I think the consideration there was just taking a Soul Rock just to thin the deck a little, but decided to leave it in the end, thinking, no, actually, I need the bench space for more important Pokemon or just fewer kind of Pokemon on the bench that I actually don't need to utilize right now. Going to use that Air Balloon to its great effect, allowing you to switch the other Golden Go into the active position so that you can coin bonus for another 2 cards rather than 1. Another Golden Go greets us with its presence. We're going to coin bonus for just the 1 card this time, and hopefully that's given Daniel the power behind his deck that he needs to be able to string together a knockout on Blood Moon Ursaluna. Of course, the first part of that puzzle is using the Superior Energy Retrieval.
Yeah, and you have everything that you want here too, and you can continue, right? You can continue siphoning through this deck here. It's a Lunar Cycle, once again, drawing 3 cards. We're just finding more and more fodder for the Superior Energy Retrievals as well here. Daniel, considering the attach, I don't see anything wrong with it here, but we definitely need a big chunk of change here if we want to go on ahead and knock out this Blood Moon Ursaluna. Now, here's the thing, Amy. This deck, Golden Go now, is a little bit also about resource management, right? So we only have 4 Superior Energy Retrievals in deck. So if Emma is going to go on ahead and bring up another strong, high hit point Pokemon, we have to make sure we're using our resources carefully. We only get 4.
I think the real tell here from Emma is that we are on 3 prize cards. If Daniel takes the knockout on this Blood Moon Ursaluna, that is perfect Briar energy right there. We're going for the Pidgeot in an attempt to stifle that potential, meaning that Emma won't be able to search as easily. We won't have access to that quick search. Blood Moon Ursaluna, not particularly a threat right now. The Black Belt's training is gone, so Pidgeot feels like the much more lucrative target this time.
And honestly, Emma did an amazing job of resetting up a Terra Pokemon onto the bench as well, so we can still get into Noctowl next turn. But once again, losing this opportunity to just grab 1 card for free, while yes, I mean, 2 is greater than 1, right? But still, Pidgeot has been such a great part of this whole puzzle here. See, another Soul Rock hitting the bench once again, potentially afraid of something like some deck kind of shuffling here, but we'll see how exactly this one is going to go down here.
And there we go. That's a big knockout on that Pidgeot EX. Emma can only search for 1 Pokemon this turn so far. We're going to go for the flip the script. We got the second Ultra Ball, so now we can search for 2 Pokemon. We can get a Noctowl. This could be it, because then we are able to get into that Flareon.
This is interesting, Amy. So what we need if we want to go on ahead and go for this Briar play this turn, right? We have to find a way to get the Eevee back onto the bench. We have to find a way to get a Flareon, right? And we've already used Terra Orb in turn 1, so we have to use a couple of Ultra Balls here to get this play going if that's exactly what she's going for. Still looking through the deck here. The Glass Trumpet as well is a great energy accelerator too here, but it's really hard to say. It's a lot of pieces that she needs to piece together right now to do it, and that Pidgeot honestly was the one that was really kind of helping her out here.
But it's okay. We're going to go for our Noctowl. We'll go for the Glass Trumpet and the Briar. Second Noctowl going for the 2 Night Stretchers, and here it comes. We'll be able to Night Stretcher for Eevee and Flareon, right?
Still there.
Here it is. There's the Eevee. Then, yep, we go ahead. There's the Fire Energy. Here comes the Briar.
Has the Jet Energy to bring it into the active as well. Here comes the Night Stretcher, and she's able to put it together. My goodness, Emma with such a great mastery of this deck. Once again, she has championed this deck the entire time, and she was able to find her Briar play beautifully, even without the help of Pidgeot there, but also thanks to the assist of Pheasantipity, of course. But still, regardless, Emma so confident in this matchup. As we check out the replay here,
what a conquest.
She is on fire this tournament. I mean, you got to talk about the setup, right?
Yeah.
Starting with the boosted evolution Eevee in the active allows for you to go on ahead, use the Terra Orb, and you know Golden Go's not hitting those massive big numbers without Energy Search Pro on turn 2.
Absolutely, and Daniel just unfortunately yielded that gain of momentum over to Emma. Even with the defeat of this Pidgeot, Emma was able to continue to set up thanks to Noctowl. I love the use of the Ursaluna here, really innovative. Usually Ursaluna is used to close out games using its season skill ability, but this time it was used to take a mid-game KO on a Golden Go thanks to Black Belt's training. And then we saw it all pieced together thanks to 2 Noctowl, dual Seekering, the 4 cards we needed to string together the perfect win for Emma in this Masters Final of Gdańsk Regional Championships. Wow.
Once again, it's the mastery, right? It's Emma's mastery. Not only is she, piloting the deck well, but she knows her outs, right? Yeah. That's a big thing. And I want to bring it back to a point that you were making, Amy, is that the fact that we're using Burning Charge to power up Blood Moon Ursaluna. Like, usually a lot of the times Blood Moon Ursaluna, as you said, is kind of that end game cincher, right? But we have this, great ability, or this great attack, I should say, that really does allow for you to kind of maneuver your energy around here.
And that's exactly what we are kind of championing with this deck. What it allows is flexibility, whereas Daniel's deck has that aggressive momentum that if you can't slow it down, that it can just rampage through an event and get all the way to the finals, just as we've seen.
Ooh, okay, well, I know one thing that we're not going to see this game.
Well, it's not going to happen like last game, that's for sure. But you know what? Daniel's prize cards don't look too shabby. Let's see how this goes in game number 2 of the Masters Finals.
Letting Daniel once again opting to go first here, as he's going to start to get his bench up and running here, starting right away with a Fighting Gong to grab that Soul Rock here. We're going to start cycling through this deck thanks to Lunatone. Once again, this deck does amazing things with its draw power and its draw capability here. See how exactly it's going to go down here, but here's the thing, right, Amy? I mean, a lot of the times, right, these Golden Go decks actually sometimes really want to go second so they can get their turn 1 Buddy pop in, and I can't tell by the hand, do we even have a Gimme Ghoul in hand?
I'm not certain we do, We've gone for the attach for turn on the Soul Rock. And, an Earthen Vessel. Okay, so we'll be able to discard a Fighting Energy to draw more cards. So we could get there, but right now it's looking like the Gimme Ghoul are in hiding. They're a bit afraid of Emma's attack power from last game, I imagine. But we are going to need to see them soon to get Daniel off the mark.
It's going to be a little bit interesting, especially if Daniel's not going to be able to bench that Gimme Ghoul, especially even just one, right? Would help us here. Usually
one is fine.
Emma's not playing too aggressive on her first turn that we've seen so far, but instead just to pass on over to Emma, no Gimme Ghoul in sight just yet. So it is just going to be this Ultra Ball discarding, I believe that is a boss's orders, and a Hoot Hoot here to start going through the deck. This is where she's going to realize that the Briar play that she had last time is not available this time here, and that Wellspring Ogre Pond that you know, honestly, I mean, she does have the Sparkling Crystal in hand. We were able to get a little bit cheeky there, but still no, it is just going to be this fan Rotom for fan call, setting up some more Hoot Hoots, but here we go. Once again, this Pidgey came in really clutch last time. This call for family, where she's able to bring down 2 basic Pokemon onto the bench. You can assume one of them has to be Terrestrial.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right now, the one thing we're lacking is a Terrestrial Pokemon to activate those Noctowl for next turn. Emma has given herself that insurance policy, putting down the Terrapagos, and that's going to help us. Back on to Daniel's turn. Let's see if we can get some momentum going. Now, Emma having that single prize Pokemon in the active does allow for a Solrock knockout this turn, and then leaves Daniel with a single prize board state. I say that's pretty nice, especially when you didn't have the momentum that we're gaining now last turn with the Buddy Poffin. So here we go with an Artisan as well, really establishing those Gimme Ghoul. Very important to do so at this stage. And honestly, if I were Daniel, I'd be very happy that finally I've got a board full of Gimme Ghoul.
That is fair here. See how exactly this one can play out. I don't know if we want to just retreat and then, you know, hit a Cosmic Beam on the Solrock to get something started. At least getting the Pidgey out of play, right? I think Daniel prioritized that in game number 1. It's definitely not the worst idea coming into game number 2 here, especially when you have so much setup. You know, the Wellspring Ogerpon is not down on the bench. You're not at risk of a torrential pump here. So I don't see the problem. And like we saw in Emma's last game against Golden Go, keeping a 1 prize board very much is to our advantage.
Yeah, and especially with that Briar not in the mix, actually,
right.
That, like, obviously Daniel doesn't know that, but it does give that advantage. It gives that wiggle room that we need right now. And okay, we're going with the boss. Oh my, it's got to be the Eevee. It is the Eevee taking it down with Cosmic Beam from Solrock, one of my caster picks for this weekend. And I'm glad to see it putting in the reps.
This one's going to be interesting, though. No more Eevee, but Emma did a great job of once again calling for family for another Terrestrial Pokemon, so we can go on ahead and Jewel Seeker this turn. But I'm looking at the board, and I'm just a little bit uncomfortable, Amy. No move really feels right here. Now, we do have Area 0 Underdepths in hand, so we can go on ahead and actually bump the Artisan here. And I don't know if... Oh, wait, I was about to say, if you want to go into Jewel Seeker and find Pheasantipity, for example, but it's actually already in hand here.
Yeah, we have it.
Things are looking pretty okay if we're Emma. The question is, what do we attack with? We have Buddy Poffin as well that we drew into. Some more setup can happen this turn, but it looks like we have so many pieces of the puzzle, Amy, but does it feel right to go back and straight into a Flareon right now when we don't have the Briar play?
I'm not sure. I think the issue is that you're leaving that 2 prize Pokemon in the active, but I feel like it has to be that way, right? Daniel does have a single prize board state. At least if you deal with the Solrock, the Lunatone can't activate until another Solrock comes around. But, you know, at the moment, I think Solrock is really casting a shadow on Emma's board state because there isn't really what I'd call an ideal attack moment right now. Maybe it's a hold back for Emma. Maybe it's a call for family or a kind of, oh, Hilda, wow, okie dokie, wow, straight into the Pidgeot. So that certainly isn't the line. My word, going for the Gimme Ghoul. That's a much more advantageous knockout.
I like this play as well, Amy, right? Daniel has taken 1 prize card, and Emma utilizing Fan Rotom instead of putting up this Terrapagos here and just using Assault Landing to take the knockout. So now, instead of having access to Counter Catcher, it is just going to have to be Boss's Orders that gets us through this. But great response from Emma. Once again, mastery of that play. We do have Pidgeot online, which means the target is already set for Daniel this turn.
Honestly, I forgot the Fan Rotom was there because it was just off our screens, but it's a much, much better knockout. And, you know, taking that little bit of draw support away from Daniel, being able to take a knockout with Fan Rotom, a really underutilized card in a lot of decks. A lot of people just use it for the setup, but don't forget it's got a fantastic attack as well, knocks out a lot of basic Pokemon, can really help get things moving. As both players have taken 1 prize card thus far, we kind of are playing this game of, oh, who's going to take that first big knockout. Right. We're really playing that tug of war right now between these two.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because now the problem of, all right, do I want to take one prize or can I find an option to take two comes back into play now on Daniel's side here, right? Once again, Emma, very smart, using the single prize fan Rotom to take the knockout here. Counter catcher is not live. We have a couple of Arvin, but I don't know, Amy. We can definitely get this Soul Rock out of the active. We can start drawing cards, of course, thanks to Air Balloon, for example, and keeping kind of the draw power going here. But is it just going to be another knockout thanks to the Cosmic Beam here? I actually kind of like it, right? It maintains the single prize board.
It maintains the single prize board, but also Daniel's then on 2 prize cards taken. So actually, that's not too bad either. We kind of like that for Daniel. That feels good. And the Soul Rock at 110 HP is a burden for Emma. It really is.
I love that turn from Daniel. Honestly, he played so conservative, right?
Yes.
He wasn't kind of overdoing his resources here, kind of working with what he has. And now it's back on over to Emma's turn. And once again, kind of the issue, right? We don't want to put up this Terapagos at all. It's just kind of a free 2 prizes here. We have to figure out how exactly she wants to kind of work with this. Now, granted, Emma has only been working with one Eevee for both games, right? She hasn't had access to both at the same time. So it's definitely been a little interesting here, but it is going to be the Ultra Ball. Got to figure out what exactly we want to grab from this, Amy. What do you think?
Honestly, I'm thinking, is there another Boss's Orders play through maybe a Night Stretcher of Boss's Orders and try and go again with a Gimmighoul knockout and try and bring it back with the Fan Rotom? But honestly, either way, this is not the position that Emma particularly wants to be in.
No, not at all. Especially now Daniel has taken these 2 prizes, so now we can get a little bit more aggressive and go for what is going to be that 2-2-2 prize race here. See how exactly it's going to go. We'll see what Pheasantipity gives us off of the script here, but still, Emma did get, I mean, double Knock Towel can help us, right? But then again, it goes back into how aggressive do we want to play right now?
Yeah, what exactly do we go into? What's the right call? Which resources do we want to use? Because again, this is just a game of resources at the end of the day. Will Emma have to use up too much and then later in the game not quite find what we need? I think that's why the Boss's Orders angle kind of is a bit of a shame right now, because it's our last one.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Amy, but it is going to be the Night Stretcher, of course, for Fan Rotom once more, and just taking the knockout on the Gimmighoul with the energy on it, just removing that from play. But I don't know how much Daniel's game plan is going to change, right? We still haven't really gotten rid of the Soul Rock with the energy on it.
No, precisely. So we are taking out that Gimmighoul with another Assault Landing. Rotom really putting in the work here, re-establishing that Soul Rock as the active Pokemon. Daniel Magda now in a position where he could choose to go aggressive and take a 2 prize knockout if the door opens for him. But we are not quite there yet. We need Golden Go. We need some energy. We need a Boss's Orders. We need something to bring it all together for Daniel. Will he have the pieces?
Hard to say, though.
That was... Yep.
Daniel's decided that it's go time.
It's go time. It is absolutely go time. I kind of felt that from him and his energy right now, especially with those very dominant Golden Go. You can really tell that he is on it now. It is time to respond.
Yeah, also drew into the Air Balloon as well, so we can attach an Air Balloon onto the Golden Go, retreat into the Golden Go onto the bench, or no, we could just draw one A-OK here too, but still, I mean, I'm not seeing too much Gust available to us right now, Amy. We do have the Genesect that is potentially coming down. I think it's a lot safer to bench it. There's no Flareon that we really have to worry about, but yes, it is going to be the Genesect coming down and hitting the bench right at the top spot. I promise it's there. I know the overlay is kind of covering it, but I promise you that Genesect has hit the board.
So we've used Genesect there to thin the deck. I think that's the key point here. Daniel is not drawing into the cards he needs. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the things that he doesn't want to see in those draws out. They're in the hand now. They are no longer a problem. They're also useful for potential discards and things later. However, we're probably going to want to be keeping these Golden Go. Now, we couldn't have double retreated, so we did only have the one because we retreated with the Soul Rock into the Golden Go. So we couldn't sadly draw more with those coin bonus this turn.
Amy, if it's just a single prize knockout this turn, I'm actually kind of worried for Daniel's prize map here, right? I mean, 2 Knock Towels have been used, but I mean, Quick Search is up, and this would be the green light, I think, for the green light for Emma to get things started, especially if we're just going to take one here. We'll see how this one is going to play out, though. Superior Energy Retrieval has been used, getting once again rid of the Mega Mawile. I really wanted to see it kind of be used in action here, but it is the cycle draw. Three cards.
These are an important 3 cards. We want to see a supporter that's going to push us into the driver's seat. No, you're kidding.
Drawn, I think. I couldn't tell
Really?
from my
Come
angle,
on.
Amy.
Oh, he's being so sneaky with that hand. I can't quite
It is.
see.
I can see the clip of the
pink.
corner. It is going to be the secret box that is drawn, I believe, to at least get that boss's orders going here. And there it is.
Here we go.
Right at the top. Who needs boss's orders when you can grab the card that gets you it after just a couple of discards, right? But we've learned in Golden Go so far that that is okay to do. Secret box, of course, coming down. It can grab you an item, a tool, a supporter, and Stadia. Most likely we're looking at the supporter of choice, boss's orders, and some other things to boot with it.
Of course, and honestly, this sequencing was golden. It was perfect. Using the Genesect, thinning the deck, giving himself every possible note that he could hit what he needs with the Lunatone. And boy, did we get it. What a fantastic play. Here's the boss's orders on the Pidgeot. We've seen it before. It worked before. I'm sure that it can work again. Maybe it will slow Emma down enough and give Daniel the gift of a win.
This one's going to be interesting, though. I'm not quite sure how many superior energy retrievals we've used so far in this game. I think
it's just been one.
I think it's just been one, but it's definitely, I know we have another one in hand. And if I'm looking at Emma's deck list, she does play one copy of Viono, but the problem is you're up against Golden Go, and look at all the draw supporters that you have, even if you were to take this out.
We've already got a bit of a flurry of energy that's
true,
for there, and we've got superior energy retrieval, so we are going to be able to knock out this Pidgeot as long as there's enough energy in the discard pile currently.
Absolutely, and of course there is. There's been a ton of draws, a couple of retreats as well. We'll see how this one is going to play out, Amy.
Here
but
we
it
go.
is, of course, going to be Daniel making it rain for 300 damage onto this Pidgeot EX. He is 2 prize cards away from evening this set and taking us to a game 3.
Absolute dominion of this board state, taking it all the way, saying, I'm not afraid of your Flareon yet.
Ooh, this could be massive, though. Flareon is going to come right into the active here. Dare I say, Amy, I really would love to see an Iono this turn. We may just have to... Oh, wait, no, it's actually in the prizes, too. That's so unfortunate here. But unfortunately for... unfortunately for Emma,
goodness.
this is not looking too good.
It's not looking too hot for Emma. I saw Emma checking Daniel's prize cards there. I reckon, his discard pile. I reckon that was to search out the superior energy retrievals to see how much wiggle room she has for Daniel not to be able to get up to the HP total of the Flareon. Now, Golden Go does 50 damage per energy you discard from your hand. But we have the superior energy retrieval, discarding Professor Tourist Scenario and the Buddy Buddy Poffin. It's all coming together. Here we go, the attach return. We're almost there. And the energy is on the board. Flareon is knocked out, and Daniel evens it out against the odds, bringing it to 1-1 in this Masters final at Gdańsk in Poland.
Does not matter if you're weak to fire if you have good prize mapping. And once again, it's going to show that while, yes, the matchup is very hard on paper, if you maintain these 1 prize boards, feels really good here. But the boss's orders very early, Amy, forced Emma into some weird, awkward prize trades. And of course, Emma's prize cards did not help her by any means, right? Briar, the play that won her game 1, not available in that game number 2, and the EVX. But it goes to show, right? Daniel knows how to play this deck and pilot it extremely well. It really did come down to, of course, the lunar cycle for the secret box, getting that boss's orders, because if not, I mean, that Golden Go was very stuck there, and honestly, we could have seen a very different end game.
Absolutely, but Daniel did everything in his power to make sure that that lunar cycle was going to go his way. He thinned the deck perfectly, took out the Pidgeot, limiting what Emma could do to disrupt his plays next turn, limiting what she could do to set up her own Pokemon. Still managed to get that Flareon going, but unfortunately, she wasn't able to hang in there long enough, and Golden Go took those final 2 prize cards to even us up to a 1-1 match in our finals. Super exciting. We're going into the last game, the decider, the pinnacle of play here in Gdańsk.
This is very close. And honestly, Amy, good on Daniel for last game. He didn't even have a gimme goal on the bench on turn 1 here. So once again, this mastery here, the prize cards are going down here. Seeing what we have available, honestly.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't like the amount of nest balls that I'm seeing in there, but
you know what? I don't like the fact that there's nest balls and a Buddy Buddy Poffin and a Blood Moon Ursaluna, which we saw to great effect in game 1.
Still though, I mean, Emma does play 2 other copies of the Buddy Buddy Poffin here, but we will have to expend some resources with the Ultra Ball, I believe, in hand to at least get our Fan Rotom ready to go here. Gravity Mountain and a Crispin are potentially the targets here. Also has a Crispin in hand.
Yeah.
His priority is trying to keep the counter catcher though, and if honestly, it could see another potential, you know, Soul Rock play, getting really aggressive like he did last time. But here we go. Emma's about to have a kind of a rude awakening that she's going to need to piece her, you know, puzzle together very, very tight.
I think the worry I have here is, where is our terrestrialized Pokemon coming from? Are we going to have to kind of put a Pidgey together to be able to do that again? Because we have the Eevee, but obviously that's going to need to evolve, and I don't think we had it in hand. So how are we going to get these Noctowl online right now? Because it's looking like it's a bit scary. We might have to take the Flareon now and not go for the Fan Rotom and just get it into play to guarantee it next turn. But this is certainly going to slow Emma down as we pass over to Daniel with just a Flareon and 1 Hoot Hoot to boot.
What does he have, though, Daniel, in the hand? Obviously, once again, we saw a little bit earlier, the Thin to Win strategy, right?
It works, it works.
Using Metallic Signal to get 2 Evolution Metal Pokemon out of the deck here, and we'll see how exactly else he wants to set up the deck. Now, granted, I saw a lot of shuffling there. I don't see a Buddy Buddy Poffin in hand just yet. The thing is, I feel like Emma has gone kind of all in on this just one play, Amy, and we don't have a direct out to another Noctowl here, but there's the Buddy Buddy Poffin. We are going to be able to grab some gimme goals, but my question here, Amy, if this Genesect is stuck in the active, can Emma set up another attacker?
I don't know. That's the big question on everyone's mind, because she can use the Crispin on the Flareon and then use Burning Charge, but where is more Pokemon coming from?
A hopeful top deck of a Noctowl, but the problem is when you have 3 Nest Balls prize, that's actually not the easiest thing to do here. But the Professor Turo scenario here coming in clutch, once again forcing Emma in such a tight spot here. Daniel playing masterfully, getting the 2 prize liability off the board, and it's back on over to Emma. I don't believe that she drew into a Noctowl or another Pokemon here, so she's forced to Crispin here for Burning Charge, but is she just gonna power up a Hoot Hoot? It's such a difficult thing to understand. I mean, she drew into a Leafeon. She has nothing else here. It is just going to be a Burning Charge onto the onto the Hoot Hoot. Can Daniel piece it all together here? Can he find 300 damage worth of energy cards to get this win here in Gdańsk?
Oh, I'm worried for Emma here. Daniel seems to have the advantage. Can he piece together a big old KO on this Flareon? If so, it could be game over, or it could slow Emma down just too much.
So hard to say. Now, she did, granted, draw a Nest Ball off of the prizes here, and she does have an energy attachment onto the Hoot Hoot, so she would be able to at least retreat next turn. But here comes Genesect EX once again hitting the board, and that Metallic Signal ability, able to grab those 2 Evolution Metal Pokemon out of the deck here. You know they are going straight into play. You have the 2 prize liability into the active, like exactly how you want it here.
Wow.
So now we're going to see a couple of coin bonuses as well. And here's the thing, Amy, Daniel didn't play too much out of the hand as well. We can start trying to siphon once again these energy cards to get our resources out of the deck.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day for Golden Go, is making sure those resources are well looked after. And Daniel has been doing that for so many rounds of Pokemon right now that he knows exactly the way to go. So looks like we're going to be drawing some cards with coin bonus there. I love the use of Metallic Signal, not only to thin the deck, but also bring those Golden Go into play. I feel like Daniel has a really musical deck in that respect. It is just
oh my
singing.
Goodness.
The Pheasantipity as well. The draw power is unmatched. unmatched.
Massive draw here too, Amy. I mean, not only drew the nest ball, but the fighting gong as well. So we can potentially combo into something like a soul rock into using fighting gong and grabbing another fighting energy out of the deck as well.
Here we go.
Yep, there it is. There's the nest ball play. Looking for the fighting gong potentially, unless we already have it inside of the deck here. But no, we still have those combo pieces available. Here comes our first lunar cycle here on the side of Daniel. He's got it right in front of him, Amy.
The writing seems on the wall at this point. We just need the energy to back up a knockout, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, is can we now back this up with enough energy this early in the game? We've got some more card draw online. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3 off the Lunatone, but will it be enough? This is the moment that could spell the rest of the game, that could set the tone, that could set the pace. We've got 2 in the discard pile, so we can get a couple back with energy retrieval.
Do also have the earthen vessel in hand as well.
Oh my goodness
with
gracious.
3 more energy inside
You're
as well.
kidding.
With 2 superior energies already inside of the hand too. And once again, I mean, there's so much access that we have. Arvin for turn.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I think this is it, Emily. I think he's
Secret
absolutely
box?
got it. No, more. Daniel is saying, I know I'm using my resources, but I am going to go forth and prosper because I need this win, and he is certainly making a display right now.
Absolutely. I think the Vitality Band can be earthen vesseled away for 2 more energy here too. We'll see how much energy he has available to him within the deck here, but the secret box pull was definitely very interesting. I was expecting something more along the lines of something like, for example, a earthen vessel, because here's the thing, if you put down an artisan, right, that allows for Emma to also use that, right? She could try and reset up something like a hoot hoot here. We'll see how exactly this one is going to play out though in this turn.
Here we go.
It's going to be secret box though, item, tool, supporter, and stadium all coming here. My goodness, a Professor Turo scenario as well, just in case something gets stuck in the active again, just like that Genesect, for example, here.
Oh, wow. Chef's kiss, eh? Air balloon down into another golden go, giving us more power to go. We're going to use the earthen vessel to actually discard the artisan. Emily, you were so right. It's not advantageous at this point. You don't want to give Emma anything more when she's clearly struggling to get that set up in the space right now. Really showing the power of golden go, how aggressive it can be. 2 more cards. We're not done. Drawing cards, mathematicians in chat. I want to know how many cards Daniel has drawn this turn, because boy, it's a lot.
And all of this energy, Amy, is just coming out of the deck, right? I mean, he has the perfect routes to it all. Earthen vessels, fighting gongs, everything. It's all coming out of the deck. And honestly, what he can do is just hold on to it, right? He doesn't have to just, you know, throw it all down, right? He can use enough to get that 300, right? And then just hold on to it for a little bit longer. We'll see how Emma's going to be able to respond, because it looks like Daniel has every single card he needs to knock out not only her only Eevee, but her only Terra Pokemon as well.
Yeah, which will mean that even if we were able to get into a knockdown, it's not going to work. And there it is, a huge knockout on that Flareon EX, really putting Emma on the back foot. Daniel is here to play Pokemon, and play hard he is.
It's definitely not over just yet, right? Emma still has her line for Briar if she's able to get a 2-prize knockout this turn, but that's a lot to ask for, right? We need to not only in this Pheasantipity draw a way to get back the Eevee, but we also need to find another way to get another Flareon. Now, granted, I don't think Sparkling Crystal has been used, and she's going to use the hands. And honestly, I'm putting my power into her hands as well, as it is going to probably come down to these 3 cards off of Flip the Script.
It is all about that Pheasantipity in this moment. These are a huge screens.
Well.
Oh, I love this. 1.
Not
2.
Nice stretcher.
We like that. 3.
Boss's
order.
order.
Doesn't look great. We're going to go for another Hoot Hoot down, but oh my goodness, it's a jet energy on Hoot Hoot. Are we triple stabbing? We're triple stabbing. Here we go.
I couldn't see, but I couldn't see all of them.
20 damage?
Yep, but flipped all 3 heads.
Woo!
All right, shakes the
Okay.
hands as well.
Oh my
and there will be a concession. Daniel Magda going to take home the gold at Gdańsk Regionals, playing that Goldigo EX, finally getting a regional championship for Goldango underneath the belt. Congratulations to Daniel Magda, a massive masterclass in what this deck can do, and that's draw a lot of cards.
Daniel Magda really showing that drawing cards is the ace in the hole. Really striking gold, and he is your Gdańsk